What's up guys, Josh here from the Barefoot Bonsai, and today we're going to be making a really cheap maple starter forest. First off, you're going to need one of these little plastic baskets with the holes in it from Dollar Tree, or you might have something like that laying around. And you also need a big area full of saplings like my garden. So every year the seeds fall off our big maple in the front and they overtake the garden. So I pull them out and I'll plant them throughout the yard, but today we're planting them in this little maple planting that we're going to eventually turn into a bonsai forest. The key to getting these maples out all in one piece is the way you use the trowel. So you go in and you wiggle it back and forth like that to kind of pry them loose, and you should be able to pull them out with all the roots still intact. As you can see there, getting a little bit of dirt on the roots, that's what you want, and we'll clean them up after. Sometimes you'll find the saplings interspersed with other plants, but same method, just get down in there with the trowel, wiggle it a little bit, and they'll pop right out. Just try not to disturb the roots of the other plants or the leaves of the other plants, and you should be able to get them out pretty easily. So now I think we're ready to plant. I mix my own soil for this kind of thing. It's 2 parts compost, 1 part pine bark, and 1 part safety sorb, and it works really well for a nice free draining soil for these little roots. So now that we have the trees, we just need to break off all the extra dirt that's surrounding them so that we can get to the bare roots themselves and give them a good opportunity to grow into the new soil. We want to be sure to keep the roots wet when we're doing this so that they don't dry out. As soon as they dry out, the roots will die and so will the tree. So we want to give them a good soaking before we get them back into the ground and keep them damp throughout this whole process. And now we're just going to fill our basket up with dirt. You'll see the holes on the bottom of the basket. That works not only for drainage but also gives a lot of oxygen to the roots, which is what they need. They need water, they need oxygen, and they'll grow absolutely great. So we're going to fill that thing up, put all our soil in, and then via Grow and Clip Bonsai, we are going to spray down the top to release the surface tension. And finally, we'll get to planting. So you just want to get your finger down in there, make a hole about 2 to 3 times wider than the trunk itself and wider than the root base, and then you just pack everybody in there, get them nice and cozy down in their new home. Now you see that root there was a little bit longer, and what I'll do is kind of bend it so that it can grow sideways in the basket. You want to promote them growing sideways rather than straight down. And now we have the whole thing all together, looking really nice. And I'll show you here, filling in along the edges and through the back and in between the trees. It's very important because some of the soil will wash away, but we want soil in the middle. And now you can see where the trunks are. We don't want them lined up. We want them kind of off center, because what our plan is here is that we'll be able to scoop this whole thing out and put it in a pot as a forest. Once we're all done, we're just going to water in really, really well. You want the water to drain all the way through. You can see it coming out the sides there too. These baskets are so great for getting good drainage and good oxygen flow throughout that root system. Look at how healthy those trees look now. And there's our final product. This is a really cool thing to do with all of those saplings in your garden. Instead of throwing them out, they're free trees, and these are living things, you know. Grow them up, turn them into something even better than what they would be before. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and stay green.